Hello, today's pre-lab talk is on replacement of hydrogen by a metal. By now you should have obtained a paper copy of your lab that has a page that looks like this with your purpose and procedure with a little pre-lab to fill in, and then a data collection page and some post-lab questions. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to work with this. This is called a battery jar, and you need to have it about 3/4 full of tap water. You're going to need your 50 ml graduated cylinder. Now I have already obtained 15 milliliters of hydrochloric acid that I've put in my graduated cylinder. You're going to need to get a piece of magnesium metal that will be cut for you, but you're going to have to go to your teacher and give them the length of the magnesium piece you want. Okay, so there is a pre-lab calculation that you must do before you come to lab, or you won't even get your piece of magnesium metal. Okay, so you're going to go to your teacher and ask for a specific length of magnesium metal, and they will give that to you. Then what you need to do is you need to kind of carefully form it into the letter C. The reason being, we want to drop it down the graduated cylinder. We want it to fall to the bottom and not get stuck to the sides. So you just kind of have to kind of compress it a little bit. Okay? After you obtain your 15 milliliters of your hydrochloric acid and have bent your magnesium ribbon, then you are going to carefully fill this with water as gently as possible, because we don't really want to stir up the hydrochloric acid at the bottom, so maybe kind of tip it to the side and add in the water up to the tippy top. Okay, then you're going to take and drop in your piece of magnesium metal. Okay, so you have two options here. You can go with your hand option and cover it, or you can use a glass square. There's benefits to both, okay? So you have to be careful because of the lip here. Sometimes the magnesium metal wants to sneak out, okay? So you're going to have to cover this with your hand quickly as possible, invert, get it in here, okay? So pull your sleeves up, slide your hand out from the bottom. If you have the glass square, you can leave the glass square underneath, and then there you go. Okay, so once you have it positioned, you can let go of this. Now the hydrochloric acid will react with the strip of magnesium and be generating hydrogen gas. Okay, if by chance in this process the piece of magnesium comes free and is floating in the battery jar, you have to start all over. There's no way to save it. Okay, so you're going to wait until all the magnesium has reacted and you've collected the hydrogen gas. Okay, once all the magnesium has reacted, then you're going to carefully raise up your eudiometer, okay, so that you can read the volume. By using the markings on the graduated cylinder, you're going to read the volume of the gas generated. Okay, once you've read the volume of gas generated, okay, you're done with the experimental part, and you can take out your graduated cylinder and possibly glass square if you left that in the bottom of the battery jar. You're also going to need to get the temperature of the water in the battery jar. So just hold your thermometer in there for a couple minutes and quickly record the temperature. Okay, once you've done that, then another group can take the battery jar and use it. Okay, they can use it just with the water that you had in it. The last group to use the battery jar at the end of lab, if they could just dump it out and replace it with fresh water, that would be great. Okay, before leaving lab, you're going to need to get a couple more pieces of data. You're going to want to get the barometric pressure. So here's the barometer. It will be possibly mounted to the wall somewhere in lab, so maybe you might have to walk around and look for it, or maybe your teacher will set it to the side. So you want to make sure you get barometric pressure. Okay, barometric pressure is affected by temperature, so you want to get it while you're in lab, okay, not the next day or at home on the news, because it will probably be a little bit different reading. Also, as you learned in a class, you're going to have to make some adjustments to the numbers. So there'll be a chart maybe out on the table or maybe on the whiteboard or off to the side. You're going to want to see what the vapor pressure reading is for the temperature of the battery jar. So people always struggle with reading this chart. This is temperature, so down here on the side for example, is 12 degrees Celsius. Then across the top are the decimal marks. So this is 12.0 degrees. Water vapor pressure here, okay, has a reading of 10.518. 12.4 degrees Celsius has a vapor pressure of 10.799. Okay, so you want to make sure you get the vapor pressure that corresponds to the temperature for your battery jar before you leave lab. Okay, and remember, a prepared student is a safe student, so please do all of your pre-lab and make sure you thoroughly read your lab. There are, one last thing, a fair amount of post-lab calculations, so I would not leave this lab for the last minute. In case you have any questions, you can stop in and see your teacher. Okay, see you soon in lab.